Hi everyone, and today I will be showing you my top 5 favourite Sims 4 mods. These are mods I literally cannot live without in my game. They're constantly in my game and are absolute lifesavers. So I'm sure it's no surprise to you that MC Command Center is up there with number 1. Um, it's just the best mod. Let me show you. So I will link obviously all the mods down below, but it's has two sort of sections. So there's the command center and the woohoo sort of like addition. Um, so for example, you can obviously see all sorts of different things, such as the um, pregnancy sort of side of things. You can delete Sims, you can modify Sims in CAS, all sorts of different things. I will show you in the game now. So when you first open the game, you'll see the pop-up for MC Command Center. This is the first mod that I'll show you. So I'm going to use the Goth family as an example for this one. So you'll see the pop-up here, and the main way to access it is through clicking on the sim that you've chosen. So you'll see the MC Command Center button pop up here, and then you'll have all these options. You can also access it through a computer, more for sort of accessing your kind of behind the scenes settings. So if I just place a computer down, can't believe they don't have one in this big house. That is crazy to me. Yeah, so you kind of have to go through it a different way. So through the computer, you have your settings, your cast settings, career settings, loads of different settings to play around with. The main one that I use is sort of the pregnancy settings, and you can also change your household size from this point as well. From here as well, in the gameplay settings, you can also find the maximum household size. I mainly use this mod for that and sort of playing around with the pregnancy and woohoo settings. Yeah, you can adjust your household size to more than 8, which is great for things like the baby challenge, or just when you have a much larger family and say you've got sort of more than a couple generations in one house. So yeah, you can look through the computer. I'm not going to go through everything because we'll be here forever. But that is what I use it for most. And then you can also use it for your sim by clicking on them. So we're clicked on Bella Goth, MC Command Center. You can modify your household in CAS, which I think is great. Sim commands, so say you just want to click on a sim and, I don't know, teleport them or, maintain sim and delete them, just get rid of them if they're in your way. You can do that. So say you've got someone that's just irritating you in the world, you can just delete them. You also have MC CAS, so all different sorts of options. Select favorite drink, umbrella, lots of different things. You've got MC cheats, so you can change their funds, sim info if you want to do some career cheats, increase points and make happy. That basically just makes their need bars all full. You've then got a couple other options, but the main one that I use is MC pregnancy. So MC pregnancy, I'm going to start a pregnancy with Mortimer and Bella, and I'm just going to, I don't know, I'm just going to do one girl. And you'll see here it says pregnant with one female baby, trimester 1. You can change the pregnancy phase and rush that if you want. You can change the offspring, change the partner, all sorts of different options. And that is majority of what I use it for. There's a hell of a lot more to it. You can also edit relationships. So I like to sometimes set an active relationship for someone and make them friends. The next mod we have at number 2 is the UI Cheats extension mod. This one is just brilliant for basically adjusting sort of like needs and removing kind of moodlets and things from your Sims. Again, it's one of them I just can't live without because, if you've got an angry toddler that's hungry and you don't want to have to wake your Sim up to look after them, you can just adjust the need and just click on it. It's really helpful for things like that, so I'll show you that in game as well. Next, we have the UI Cheats mod. So this one is pretty self-explanatory. There's not that much to it. All you can do pretty much is adjust kind of the Sims needs and remove their moodlets that pop up. So I'm literally just clicking on bladder and it goes all the way down, but then you have the moodlet and you can just change it and it goes away, and all sorts. And when they have moodlets that you don't like, you can click on them and delete them. And it's really good for, I think, when you have toddlers and things and you just don't want to deal with them. And you can just up their hygiene mode and not have to bath them. For the 100 baby challenge, I think that's going to be useful to me, even though it's technically cheating, but we won't talk about it. At number 3, for one of my other favourite mods, is the ultrasound scan mod. So if you see here, basically all it is when your sim is pregnant, and they have this option once they get to their second trimester in pregnancy, and they have this option in their phone for an ultrasound scan, and then you get the ultrasound and it tells you how many babies are there and the genders. I just think it's really good for storytelling, and I think it's better way of sort of doing it than going into the MC command center. Sometimes you want a bit of a storyline. So I'll show you in game how that sort of works. So the next mod is the ultrasound mod. So all you have to do for this is when your sim is more pregnant, so you can go into MC command center to sort of adjust this. Third trimester, and then you just go into the phone book here, and there's an option for ultrasound. It costs 75 simoleons. It will send your sim into a rabbit hole, and then they will come back with an adorable ultrasound picture. So here is the button. If we just click on ultrasound scan, and we'll send her a Mortimer, they'll be gone for about an hour or two, and then they will return with a scan, and then I'll show you that. And on that, it will show them how many babies there are and the genders. So if I just speed through this, we can then see what we get and see what babies we are expecting. So Bella is back from her gynecologist appointment and it's in her inventory. So if we bring it out, here we are. Looks like one baby in there. The patient named above is pregnant with one baby. It will most likely be a girl. I just think it's lovely, the storytelling, and then you have that, and you can create copies and name it and keep it as like a sentimental thing. We then have the first impressions mod. I really like this one because it, as it explains, is first impressions. So if you can see here, it'd be, for example, first impression weird. Right off the bat, this sim strikes hands as a pretty weird individual. It, as explains, just gives you the first impression of a sim, and I think that's a really, really cool way of being able to sort of decide whether your sim would get on with another sim. It brings that sort of realism into it, and I think it's really good for gameplay. So I'll give you a bit of a sort of example of it now. Next, we have the first impressions mod. So if we, for example, try and meet someone new, we can kind of see what our first impressions are of someone. So let's go and introduce ourselves to somebody new. What's going on? Why can it not work when we need it to work? Yeah, so she's introduced herself, and if we go to the area where we can look at the sims, you'll see here, if we open the profile, first impression is responsible. This sim appears to be a very responsible person, capable of taking care of stuff and willing to care for others, and they think we are reasonable. We're not very compatible, but good first impressions, I think. And I just think that's really good for gameplay and storytelling, and I like that it sort of gives you an idea of what the other sims think of you. And then last but not least, a very small mod, and it's Carl's Try to Make Friends interaction. So it's basically a interaction within the first sort of page that pops up, and it is just Try to Make Friends. All it basically does is puts your sim on sort of autopilot and does a whole bunch of interactions to make friends with this person. So rather than having to line up a load of interactions and then your queue gets full and it's just a nightmare, you can just do it that way. I just think it's really good for situations such as like high school, and you want your sim to make loads of friends, but it's not easy in the amount of time that you've got. And also, I feel like I don't make enough friends in The Sims because it's hard and you don't have the time. Whereas if you can do this, I think it makes life a lot easier. So I'll show you kind of how it works. And then last but not least, we have the Try to Make Friends mod. This one, basically all it does, you click it, it comes up straight away, and then it, instead of having to click on loads of interactions, it just queues up any sort of interactions, and it will just go on and go on for as long as you let it. And it basically just goes through a big list of interactions and saves you time having to click on them all. And until you click off of it and sort of delete it, they will keep talking and keep becoming friends. It's a small mod, but I think it's great for what it is and what it's used for. And I think it's really good for kids and teens in situations where I tend to forget to make friends with the other kids around town, and I think it's the best way to do it. A bit of an extra kind of additional one I wanted to bring up was the Paint It Up mod. This one is one I just really like. It just gives you extra paintings. So there's 170 plus new paintings, and obviously as your sim levels up, they can get all sorts of different paintings and put them up and sell them. I just think it's nice because I'm so fed up of all of the same paintings. You know, we've had The Sims for a hell of a long time and they're all just the same. So I really like this mod for that, and I think I just wanted to mention it in this video. So I obviously will link every single one of these mods below. If you do want a video on how to install mods, let me know and I can do that for you. But I wanted to sort of mention all of these and see what you guys thought. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, let me know.